Before defining what a function is, we have to set up what it comes from, where in particular a function is a special kind of thing called a relation, and a relation is essentially just a rule made for comparison. It's a mathematical rule for comparison usually, and mostly we're going to be talking about this in the context of equations as functions, but technically speaking it's anything we arrange as an ordered set of things. In particular, we look at things with two, so it's what's called a binary relation, where we're comparing one thing to another. The first things, as it were, are what define our domain, and the range is the second pair. Usually when we're talking about the domain and range, we think of them in terms of input, the things that go into a function, the independent variables, as we'll see later, and the range is more like the output, the things we get out, the dependent variables. But we don't need to be so myopically mathematical, even though this is a math class. If we want to be a little bit more free-minded, at least to start out here, then we could define something a bit less traditional, where we would have something like a relation between universities in Florida and their in-state tuition costs.
The tuition and fees have doubled in a decade.
Correct.
And the library has water in the basement and rugs from another generation.
Right.
But you have a lazy river.
But we have a lazy river, so maybe I should just go relax.
Where we could say that we have the set of ordered pairs defining the relation FAU costs $4,879, so we'd have FAU 4879 as one ordered pair. FGCU costs $6,118, so FGCU 6118, then FIU 6565, FSU 6517, UCF 6368, and UF 6361. If you want to go further than that, whatever other things you'd want to there could be defined, but the point is, with this kind of relation, we could think of the domain as being something like the Florida universities, while the range here, G's having trouble today, would be something like the in-state tuition costs, which hopefully everyone in here is very familiar with at this point. Some of you may know the out-of-state tuition costs as well, and that's unfortunate because it's very expensive, but this is another way we can talk about what a relation is. And with this idea of a relation as just a mathematical model for connections, we can then define a special kind of relation that has a special kind of connection where every input gives us something specific out. You don't send one thing in and get more than one thing out from the connection, and that is what's called a function, as we will see next.